So listen up. I have been processing plywood for many, many years. And this is the easiest way and most accurate. In this video, I will prove that right. So pay attention. So let's look at this 4x8 piece of plywood. And say you're using a table saw. Think about your back and hustling this piece of plywood through that blade, paying attention to that fence. And then you got to go back and do it again. You will kill your back. So what I want to point out is the easy way to this. You get your piece of plywood. I'm going to use the STM 1800 by Festool. It's a cut station, but you could set up 2 sawhorses and you do the exact same thing. But I am going to take the saw with the track to the piece of plywood. I will not hurt my back doing this, and it's wicked easy, and let's go through the process. So the first thing you have to do to that 4x8 piece of plywood is you have to rip off the factory edge. And you'll see it right here. It's got the writing on the side. That way there, you start from accurate. So the question with the track saw is, how much do you actually rip off? And you could set it up like this and like this. The way I do it, I have forever, is I use what is known as a limit stop. You can make your own gauge block. I do a 6mm rip. And I bring it in like this, all the way down. It doesn't have to be perfect. The reason I do that is when I'm using the track saw, I want to bury the blade. I want a piece of wood out here so the blade is captured in between the offcut and the board. That way there, I maximize my dust extraction. We're ready to start ripping that factory edge off. And I get the question all the time, do you clamp the rail? If you are new to a track saw, I would suggest clamping the rail underneath. I don't. The only time I truly rarely clamp it is when I'm straight line ripping hardwood. And sometimes there's undulations in that, so I clamp it. Now, when you start the track saw, I always bring it down here. I'm gonna check my depth real quick. Yep, I had it switched off. So there we go. I'm gonna check, okay, I'm gonna have plenty of blade underneath. I start it forward. My dust extraction is down, and here we go. One of the things is I get behind the saw. And if you noticed, I let the piece drop. I did not put my hand back here. I let it go. I want to explain this. I mentioned that I was cutting from behind the saw. That way there, I guide it. I let the saw do the work. I have broad shoulders. I used to cut like this, and there can be a little deflection in the rail, even though you may clamp it. So always push the saw and don't run it from the side. We have our fresh edge here, referenced edge. We've taken the factory edge off. And now we need consecutive repeatable cuts. That's how I used to get it with a table saw. But then I found a track saw. But I didn't have repeatable cuts. I used to use my eye. Well, to heck with my eye. These are parallel guides, and these have repeatable reference points. I'll show you how these go on in a minute. So what I'm going to do with this sheet of plywood, and I did it over here with these already, is I need repeatable 600mm rips. And this is important because I'm getting ready to build out my miter saw stand, and I need a lot of these rips. And in a little while in the video, I'll show you how to get 100mm rips. So let's put these on, and I'll describe them as we go. So when I put these on, I already have the one on the other end. I bring it in close, and I bring this to the edge. That way there, it gives me 2 fingers of spacing, and that means on either side, I have 1 finger of spacing. That allows me to move it to the next piece without any racking. I'm gonna set this at 600 millimeter, and it's not to the front, it's to the center of the cursor. One of the tips I like to show people when setting these up is I like to take that cursor and double check. See how I have it lined up at 600? I bring it right to the center of the cursor, and I'll do the same on the other end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a very accurate reading and mark on here exactly at 600 millimeter. Okay, I'll circle it, and then I'm gonna come down here and do the exact same thing. So you can see that lines right up. But you'll notice, and I'm gonna wiggle this, the STM, or my cut station, is solid, but sometimes the board has got a few undulations. So what I like to do, just to make sure as I'm cutting, is I take and lock the board down so it doesn't shift on me. Okay, so check it out. You'll want to, when using these parallel guides, start here. All right, and then you're gonna have to walk like this. What I like to do is I like to start here like this. Look at my hand, I put it right up against there. Okay, that holds these in tension. It's real simple. I'll start, and I'll get right behind that saw, just like this. And I always bring it up full speed like that at the end. As you can see, out of each sheet, I get 2 600 millimeter rips. That is basically base cabinet depth dimension, but I'm gonna be doing really short cabinets for my Capex stand. So a side note, in the middle of the video, I wanna show you why I have this mobile saw station. The STM is I work alone in my shop. Majority of the time I don't ever have the cameraman, the unit with me the whole time. he's here now. But when I'm hustling plywood, I want to save what? My back. So the way I designed it is I always put my plywood in here. I use vertical storage in the SedgeTool shop, and I bring it down. It's this simple, everybody, look. I bring it down just like this, and I lean it up against the bench. So here's the beauty of this mobile saw station. Check out this flip right here, okay? Those are my claws, and I have them set. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position the STM saw station just like this. You'll see it's on casters. I put my foot here to hold it so it doesn't slam down, and I'm just about ready. So the next thing I'm gonna do is pull these out with this pop pin and give myself some extra leverage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the plywood now, take it here, go like this, position it like this, and pull it right on, and lean it onto the saw station. Now that it's leaning on here, and I have those little tabs, or claws I call them, I'm just gonna put my foot back underneath the wheel and pull, and look how easy this is. And when you're by yourself in the shop, this saves your back. I just want to take a couple of seconds to show that great feature of this saw station. So the only thing I have to do now is twirl these back down, and let's get ripping. So here's a piece of ply. It was a scrap from a former build, and it's not 600 millimeters, but I'm gonna utilize this to do 100 millimeter rips for the toe kicks we need to build for the miter saw stand. So if we look here, okay, this side of the parallel guides, what I call the first part of the equation, only goes down to 190. That is why we have these extensions, and they're really easy to put on. I'll just flip this over, and you'll see when I put this on here, see that how that's recessed there? That's a capture nut, and they just spin on. So as you can see, this goes from 0 all the way to 230, but I can cut 100 millimeter rips by taking this with my Polini and bringing it right in. Now, you may ask, what about the kerf of the blade? In the description below, we have a killer video on how to calibrate this side with these two 5mm screws to make this scale absolutely dead on accurate. So, pay attention. So as you can see, even in the middle of the board, it's exactly 100mm. I took the liberty of using extreme accuracy with this digital caliper. Okay, I'm taking this piece out. And this is where a lot of people I've seen in the past stop, and you don't have to. I still have at least another cut, if not two. But as I push this under, and I'm just gonna move this off to the side, okay, you're gonna notice it wants to wobble on me. So what I like to do is take some of those offcuts and bring it in to support it, just like that. And I'll do that down here now. So now the guide rail is fully supported by a board underneath as I make my last rib. And don't forget to label all your parts. So as you can see, if you've been paying attention, that it is wicked easy to rip down plywood, whether wide stock or narrow stock, and saving your back. So as we say in the SedgeTool shop, be positive, stay sharp, and we mean wicked sharp.